Well, could this be the moment for the world champions from China in lane 4 to emphasise their supremacy over the New Zealand Olympic champions in this, the final of the women's double sculls?
And a slightly slow start from the Kiwi double in lane 3, but I don't think that's going to worry them too much. They were really right back to form here after a very disappointing season. When I saw them in the last World Cup in Poznan, I could not believe how slow they were right back in the small final. But they've turned their form around. The New Zealand press have been worrying about them, something awful in their coach Dick23. They've gone away and they've really worked on their technique, on their form, and they're back to, I think, their best here. But a slow start behind the Chinese, David.
Yeah, the Chinese traditionally very fast starters, and they will try to make every stroke a winning one here. Still, of course, early days, but they're still looking for that first ever Olympic rowing gold medal. And I agree with you, it was really what you can only call a really bad day at the office for Georgina and Caroline, the twins from Hamilton Rowing Club in Poznan. But that's all well behind them, and they have looked a whole lot better. But a good start also by the British Elise Laverick and Anna Bevington. Of course, Elise Laverick partnered 4 years ago by Sarah Winkless of Great Britain, who's now in the British 8. They took the bronze medal then.
Yeah, I think the British, you know, their surprise package is pretty much in the last 250 metres where Bevington turns on her turbo boners. But Igor Grinko, the former Soviet coach who's out here heading the Chinese rowing program, is going to be absolutely delighted with the way these two women, his world champions, one of his favourites, I think the Chinese favourites for gold medal here, and a great start for them.
Yes, Igor Grinko has been very much the mastermind here for the Chinese, coming up to the end of the first 500 metres. Good start also on the far side there by the German duo, Anna-Katrin Thiele and Christiane Huth. Of course, they're guided by the guru of German women's sculling, Jutta Lau.
Yeah, Jutta Lau, she's fantastic experience, just as much experience as Grinko coaches these two Chinese. And you can just see in Li Qin from Sichuan in the bow saying, well done, you know, but we need to push on because the Germans, well, you know, I know they're actually fast in the second 500 because they did lead the British out in their repechage and look good there, but this is a great pace, and I think to show this speed this early on ahead of the New Zealanders, who were very dominant in their heats at this stage, well, that's fantastic, and the Germans must be delighted.
Yeah, it's a terrific performance over on lane 1, but as we've seen all through the week here, this is a really fair course, and there is a belief by everyone, doesn't matter what lane you're in, you can medal from any lane, and that can't be said of every course in the world.
No, it's absolutely the case, and I think the rowers were delighted when they saw the fantastic facilities here, and they do look tremendous, and what a great venue.
And also the timing, consistently every day, around midday, we go into the afternoon, and the wind comes round to, as you said, that sort of cross headwind, but it's being consistent. And look at the Germans on the left there. That is a mighty advantage at this stage.
It is a great advantage, and you know, I think they're definitely sculling above themselves, and that's what Olympic finals can do. That if crews suddenly feel this is their moment, and you know, they've been very brave. I think New Zealand looking ominous there, challenging, moving into third place past the Chinese. But at the moment, the Germans, well, I wouldn't have picked them to be out here. Certainly, I think that should be China or New Zealand. And this is a fantastic scull by Thiele and Huth.
Yeah, good spot there as we come up to the half distance there. Big move by New Zealand in that second quarter, 147.94, and that compares with 148 from this German duo in picture now. So that just indicates that they really are putting pace into their race.
Yeah, they look better from a distance, this double. I think Thiele and Huth, not quite the same body shape if you have that close-up shot, but from the distance you can see the blades really coming around long, just as long as these two New Zealanders here. We've got a fantastically long and powerful stroke, and certainly quite smooth out there. And you know, the New Zealanders haven't moved back on them with this third quarter, David.
Yeah, Great Britain not too sensational in that last quarter. They've given away a little position in the race now, and they need to make this third quarter count if they want to go for a medal.
Yeah, you know, the thing about the British is that they just hang in there, and then Elise Laverick says, you know, I just called to Anna in the stroke seat. She can actually fly a plane, you know, this girl. She's multi-talented, and then she just turns on the afterburners. So we know they've got a surprise package, and at the moment I think they're going to be pleased being close to New Zealand and moving through the world champions.
Yeah, the world champions. Now what's happening out there with Li and Tian? Essentially it's not happening.
No, it's not happening. And I think at the moment the British, they've had not such a great season. Illness, I think, certainly to Anna Bebbington early on in the season. They've come back really well. They were good in the last World Cup in Poznan, and so far they've crafted a good series of races through this regatta, and at the moment medal position is all they want. But Germany, again, is this going to be their first gold of what has been so far a disappointing regatta for them? Still in the lead at 500 to go. I'd never have picked that.
Yeah, Germany, absolutely extraordinary. But now the British, coached by Miles Forbes Thomas, beginning to get back into this. And China, that's the real shock. As much as it's a shock for Germany to be out there, it's a shock for us to see China in 4th place and being taken on here by the United States.
Yeah, well, that'll be very pleased for them. But for me, you know, can the Germans hang on? They've done everything right in this race, taking it easy, got into their rhythm off the start. Tremendous middle 1,000 metres, and the Kiwis haven't gone back on them at all. In fact, the Germans are moving away. And, you know, the British have got this fantastic sprint to come back on New Zealand.
Well, Christiana Hoot, she was a spare 4 years ago in Athens, never got onto the water competitively, but this looks good, certainly for a medal. But can they be pegged back? The twins, Georgina and Caroline, beginning to move again now, and coming up a little bit tighter, a little bit closer now, and the New Zealand twins are getting on terms. Very little between these two boats now, and they're up to, what, 38 strokes a minute?
38 strokes for the New Zealanders, and the British have got a fantastic finish. Watch Bebbington wind it up. You know, they are the fastest boat here, but this is fantastic. The Germans, can they hang on?
Well, they're really grinding this out, Caroline and Georgina, as they come up now just a little bit closer. But incredibly, still Anna-Katrine and Christiana have the edge. The British are in 3rd place. They're the meat in this sandwich between these two boats. They're trying to come, and they are finishing. Fastest of all, coming into the finish now. And it's Germany on the top of your picture. New Zealand on the bottom. There's hardly anything between them. Great Britain becoming between the two crews, coming to the line now. Still, you can't separate Germany from New Zealand. Great Britain, just a couple more strokes. The line is there. Oh! You couldn't call that, Martin. That was across the line together. Great Britain definitely in 3rd place. They just couldn't get there. And it is China 4th, and then the United States, and predictably the Czech Republic coming across in 6th place. Well, I haven't got a clue who got the gold there, and neither have they. They do not know. Remember, this is a television line. Even the bubbly line isn't exact.
Oh.
Oof. And we wait. We wait. Look. Well, it took 20 minutes in Sydney to separate Karsten from Nekova. No, it hasn't taken that long. I think, yes, they have. The New Zealanders, Georgina and Caroline Evers-Swindell, the twins, have retained their title. But it must be, and it is, look at that, 100th of a second, and New Zealand take the gold, Germany a brilliant silver, and Great Britain the bronze, and it, well...
They never gave up in that race.
What a race, and a race made by 3 fantastic partnerships. But you have to take your hat off, surely, Martin, to Christiana Hoot and Anna-Katrine Thiele. They really rode way above themselves.
Yeah, and they weren't the only ones, because I think the British double of Laverick and Bebbington did perform above themselves. Laverick's been there in bronze position before. For Bebbington, it's a new sensation, new feeling. I'll tell you what, though, when they watch this race, if they see it tomorrow, they'll go, how close were we to winning and being Olympic champions? Because they weren't that far off, were they?
No, they weren't, but the champions, once again, are Georgina and Caroline. 3 world titles, 2 Olympic gold medals for the fabulous twins from New Zealand.